Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our Pluribus Season 1, Episode 7 reaction and review.
Mhm.
Now, if you are out there and you have been wanting some really big things to happen on this show, for big sweeping changes when it comes to either where characters are,
Mhm.
how characters are feeling, this may be the episode for you.
This was the episode for me. Absolutely. This was my favorite episode of the whole season so far. I mean, it was so beautifully written, acted, the way that they were able to like bring out these emotions in me of like pure loneliness that was going on with Carol, that by the time we got to this final reunion, like my heart was just going out. Like she really tried to be like, I can do this on my own. I can dine, I can golf, I can, blow by a yak here. Like everything's going to be fine. But it's not fine because really this show to me is about the human condition and humans needing other humans, that being alone is not the way that humans are meant to be. And that's why we've got this like push and pull from the joined that are like, yeah, humans are not supposed to be alone. So we're all joined, one of us, one of us. And then you've got Carol over here being like, yeah, I can do it on my own. But really, yeah, humans need each other, but I don't want to be joined, but I want people around me. It's such a beautifully complicated show that way.
It's a beautifully complicated show. It's a beautifully complicated episode. I am right there with you. I think this is the best thing that Pluribus has done so far.
Yeah.
To me, this is the first episode that I would put among the other best shows of this year, where it finally, it
Wow.
really
Agreed.
nailed. I wouldn't say it's number one on my episodes of the year. I think that's still Chikai Bardo from Severance, but I do feel like this is an episode that merits being one of those other great shows where you just have this excellent combination of writing, cinematography, performances, and just the final 2 minutes of this episode, which I'm sure we are going to break down piece by piece in
Mhm.
this video, but it's just so emotionally tumultuous because there's this part of you that feels this tremendous relief of seeing Carol reunite with Zosha. This is the first time all season I've been choked up a little bit watching something. It really hit me, but then it also hit me at the same time. This is really dark because this represents that, oh, the joined has finally broken Carol to the point where she's desperate for this.
Yeah, this that she has actually asked for them back. I mean, she is broken down.
That's something where we kind of have to wonder now, what happens from here? Is this a break that's permanent? Is there a way for her to go back to the other side now? It's just so interesting that the joined, in a way, don't even realize their own strength, because this doesn't feel like something that's just like intentional or mustache twirling on their part, but at the same time, they still did it.
Yeah, this does not feel like this was purposeful, that the joined was like, you know what? We're all gonna leave Carol and she'll really feel what it's like to be alone. Like, we all know what Carol did to Zosha. We had the joined begging her not to do anything to Zosha, not to hurt Zosha, and she just wouldn't. And she did this thing, and the joined felt like, you know what? We got to get out of here. Like,
Yes.
Carol is doing stuff to us that we're not okay with. And because she's not commanding it, because as we've seen with this show, with that scene at the hospital where it was like, oh, what if I want a tank? Yes. What about this? Yes. Anything she wants? Yes. But she has to actually command it. And while they can kind of try to get around it, and this guy even said that, where it was like, oh, what if I want this horrible thing? Well, yes, we have to give it to you, but we're probably going to try to have a conversation with you to maybe tell you why it's not the best idea. But ultimately, yes. So, because it is ultimately yes, the joined knew we have to get out of here, because we can try to convince her not to push for these answers of how do you unjoin. But ultimately, the answer is going to have to be yes. And we are going to have to tell her. So, we have to get out of here.
So what we're going to do throughout the rest of this video is break down the significance of all of these little moments that Carol has leading to this big message at the end, what this means. And of course, we got to talk about Manousos and what was a really Good. It's weird. It's kind of a side story, and yet this episode is titled The Gap, as in the Darien Gap, which
Mhm.
was where he was. But before we dive into anything more here, be sure to hit that subscribe button to make sure you guys do not miss any more coverage of Pluribus moving forward this season. We're diving deep into all sorts of theories, and of
Mhm.
course, we love hearing what you guys are saying in the comments, your theories, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we really, really do. Okay, so one of the things that's been interesting to me in watching this episode and kind of sitting back and thinking about all these individual moments, I have said in the past there were parts of Pluribus that felt a little slow, but the more I sit with this episode, the more I'm sort of thinking every little thing matters because all these
Mhm.
activities we saw Carol do, in one way or another, it actually feels like they were all initiated by her desire to try to force the join to show up without having to ask for it.
Yeah, some of it felt like that, she's breaking windows, she's doing all these different things. She's asking for certain meals. She's maybe hoping that someone was going to show up to cook the meals and not just have it all delivered in and all of that. Definitely, I feel like there was a part of her that was testing to see where those boundaries are, but I also think there was a part of her that was testing to see what it was like being alone. Hey, can I go through the rest of this life alone? Will that be okay? I can golf, I can have great meals, I can still dress up and feel good about myself. But how far does that get you before the loneliness really sets in? How many days can go by?
I appreciate seeing her try to engage in, I don't know, some measure of frivolity. Yeah, the fancy restaurant meal, a good example of that.
Mhm.
The golf, yes, I know that she can break a window or a ball could somehow magically fly back into her face. I don't know, I don't golf, but it feels like that is an isolated sport you can kind of sort of do. But the two things that really stick out to me here, number one, I want this Gatorade to be like ice, ice, ice cold because she knows that drone is not going to be able to deliver it to her
Right?
specifications.
That's
She
right.
needs the joined Uber Eats driver
Mhm.
to show up and just be like, "Here is your ice cold Gatorade."
Absolutely. It's a test to see if she can get anyone to come back.
The other thing is the fireworks here because I think there's a part of her that feels like, what's something really dangerous I can do that will cause an emergency, that will cause these people to show up, but will also probably not hurt me? And it feels like this is a great example just because raise your hands if you have seen in the news people doing really dumb things with fireworks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are not safe.
No, it just feels like the scene when she started to get all of them and we had Stars and Stripes Forever playing in the background. I was just sitting back and feeling like this is going to go really, really badly. It's amazing to me that she actually did not cause more problems other than just the roof.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting all kinds of things to be on fire at that point.
The part I felt the saddest about, though, in this first part of this episode was her howling with the wolves. Because to me, this was a lot of, I need to feel connected to something. I
Yep.
know that they're living things that are out there. They may not understand me, but it kind of just still feels like I'm communicating.
Yeah, it was really sad. By the time we ended up getting to the end of all of this, where she's painting come back and Zosha rolls up and she just has this runs up to her into her arms, huge hug, crying. Like, it was so emotional. Like, I was so emotional watching this. I mean, not just because going through all of this in this episode, but I've been saying since like the beginning all of this that I really feel like there is a love connection that is happening here between these two. It's no coincidence that Zosha looks like the pirate from her mind that she was going to put in these novels, all of this. They brought her in on purpose to look like this, to try to draw Carol out, the real Carol, Carol who she wants to freely be. And here is Zosha to make that happen. Yes, she's part of the joined, but I really feel that this is going to be a push and pull here of, is Carol going to break down and become part of the join to be with Zosha, or is the love going to work the other way where Zosha is going to find herself within the joined and pull herself out to be with Carol?
I
Love
honestly,
conquers all. I know that it seems like
you
it's gonna
know,
be really cheeseball, but I don't care. I love love.
I love love, and I also love and trust Vince Gilligan very much. And something he said before Pluribus is that this is really a show about humanity. And yeah, we could sit here and have more discussions of RNA signals and
For sure.
frequencies and all of that. And I'm sure it's going to matter and it's going to be important in some shape or form.
Yes.
But I do feel like the grounding of this show is humanity. And that's why if we do go in the direction of love conquers all, I don't need a scientific explanation for everything. Like maybe that is just me. I'm kind of having the same feeling here that I had throughout a lot of Lost, where I just kind of reminded myself I may be happy or unhappy with the ending, but it is about getting to know these characters and getting to know this journey. And so I kind of feel, with all of this in mind, that yeah, Carol has been broken to some degree by the
Yep.
joined, and I think she is going to be a lot more graceful, not graceful, a lot more gracious that Zosha is around and she's going to spend time with her and open up. But I think that's also going to perhaps break open a little bit of a vulnerability within the join themselves that maybe this is going to be the key to kind of unlocking the real Zosha and bringing these two together. Like there might be other steps that are needed, but there can still be a foundation here.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder about some of the other 13 that are out there that have family members that
Yes.
are part of the joined, and wondering if it's that love that can pull them back out as well, and that maybe they've seen little cracks of this somewhere out there, or if it's because this is a new love that's growing, that's forming, that it is something that could either pull Zosha out. Or at this point, I mean, after this ending,
Yeah.
is this gonna pull Carolyn where she's like, you know what? Okay, it's time. Take the stem cells. Let's go. I'm just going to be part of the joint. I know I can't live like this. This
Yeah.
isn't working. And I need to be part of something at this point. That's why I'm just like Manousos. You need to get there as fast as you can before she's so broken that she makes that choice.
Yeah, and I obviously hope she does not make that choice. I don't think she will
I
personally.
don't think so, but man, she was broken.
She
So who knows?
she's going to get desperate and increasingly desperate if she can't pull anything else out of Zosha. It will start to feel more and more like a real possibility. I mean, one of the big questions there is that yeah, we know that there's stem cells that can help make Carol a part of the joint, but how do
Mhm.
you unjoin yourself? Can you remove
Yeah.
something in a biological sense, or is there an emotional catalyst? Is there something else? Like it's sort of like, let's just say I'm not advocating for this, but I love heist movies.
Yeah, you
There's
do.
often more than one way to get into a bank. Sometimes you can make a tunnel underneath it. Other points you can go in wearing fancy masks. You can get a job at the bank and be
Ooh,
an inside
fancy
job. See,
masks.
look, not just any ordinary mask here, people, but I do want there to be a number of different ways to sort of do this. That just makes the show more complicated, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Manousos
My
here.
favorite character on the show. Oh my god, I love him so much. I just love I love his resolve that he is just like, this is not happening, guys. I don't care what you're offering me. You're offering to pick my car up and bring it to Carol and bring me to Carol. I'm gonna set it on fire. I just, the way that he really broke it down and was just like, there's nothing you can offer me because everything you have has been stolen from the people from Earth. I was like, you just got me right in my feels. You're absolutely correct. Everything they're offering, they're basically offering you back after they've already taken it from you.
It's 100% true. And this is what makes this character awesome. Like
He's amazing.
he's so fascinating because he is really cynical, but there's also just this wholesome element to him at the same time where, yeah, he's doing whatever he can to sort of bat away the joined, like they're flies hovering around him. But
Yep.
we also see him learning basic English and started
Mhm.
practicing sentences. He has this resolve, but also this feeling of, you know what, I really want to be a good guy. I think Manousos has that sort of hero within him, and he sort of realizes he's going to do whatever it takes to be that hero, including I'm not going to make her try to learn my language. She doesn't know that I'm coming up. So
Yep.
I'm going to just try to learn her language while at the same time trying to do one of the most impossible things ever.
Oh my goodness, watching him try to go through with those spiky trees, it was just everything there looks like it's trying to kill you. And I know that the joint was basically like everything in here is going to try to kill you. You really shouldn't be doing this. Like, we will take you to her. We will do whatever you want. And he's like, no, bro, I'm good. I'll take my chances here in the Darien Gap. And man, he took his chances and it didn't work out that well. He
No.
tried.
Let's just take a couple of minutes here to cook on the Darien Gap because I am, first of all, so excited that the show went in this direction.
And you called that. Good
Well,
for you.
no, okay, no, it's just so I was just really hoping that they would because majority of TV shows, there's not very many that I've ever even seen acknowledge the Darien Gap. I just know it because I'm a huge geography nerd, and
Yes, you are.
it's this stretch between Colombia and Panama that connects North and South America. And even outside of the world of Pluribus, this is a place where you can't basically build any roads, hence why they had him wandering through the jungle. The temperatures are
Yep.
extreme, the bugs, the trees that you mentioned, all of that was actually pretty accurate. Now, in real life, there are a lot of human problems in the Darien Gap because that's where a
Mhm.
lot of people go to basically hide because they will never be found.
Yep.
That's not a problem for Manousos because these people,
No, they're all the join now.
yeah, so even with them removing that problem from the equation, I root for Manousos, but at the same time, I'm glad that he didn't make it through there because the idea of a human going through the Darien Gap while refusing water and just wandering, it would have been so unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like he was not going to make it through, but I was very curious if there was going to be a point that he also broke and was like, I need help, come and help me, sort of thing. And the fact that he still didn't ask for help, he's collapsing after what happened, and he's seeing the helicopter, and it looks like he's actually still trying to say, no. And he just can't get it out at this point that I think obviously they're going to come in and save him. There's no other way around. They're not killing off Manousos.
And that is, I think, one of the interesting things if we sort of sit back and try to wrap our heads around how do the joined really operate? Because we know that they have to do whatever humans say, but if
Right.
Manousos can't actually fully vocalize in this moment what he wants, then it's something where they may choose on some level,
Yes.
yeah, because they can't kill, and they
Yes.
may think that letting him go in this instance would be that.
That's right.
They've mentioned biological imperative, that
Yes.
that's something they really need. So they have an imperative to keep Manousos around. But I think the curious part here is that, all right, Manousos, let's say he survives, because I think we're both fairly confident that he does.
Yes.
He's going to wake up in some hospital somewhere, and the joined are going to act like, what do you want from us now? Is he then gonna be like, okay, just go ahead and take me to Albuquerque
No.
because, yeah, it's like, where is he gonna want them to drop him next? Don't be like, put me back in the Darien Gap.
No, he's just gonna pull all the IVs out of him and walk out of the hospital and be like, I'm good, peace. I'll see you. I'll make my way the rest of the way. I feel like because they know that he wants to get to Carol and they're trying to make him happy, that they will just bring him to a hospital that's down the road from her. I think that they're going to bring him as close to her as they're able to make him happy, to be like, see, we can help you. And he's just not going to care. He's gonna be like, okay, I'm here now.
I have to assume that by the time we see him with Carol, he's going to be in a little bit better shape because there is this sort of time jump that happens to where we get
Yep.
to the point of Carol being broken near the end. So I would assume maybe he's going to have some scars from this. I'm pretty sure anybody would.
And that's the biggest question now coming out of this episode. We've got Carol who is broken enough to
Yes.
call back the joined. And I mean, that's a pretty desperate situation for her. She doesn't want anything to do with them. And she has fought it and fought it and fought it and fought it. And her spirit is broken that she has now called them back to even just get a hug from Zosha, to just anything to stop the pain of the loneliness. Then in is gonna roll in Manousos being like, hi Carol, I got all your tapes. Let's find a way to, undo this. What, you think that there's some sort of a cure? Let's figure it out together. Like, how is she going to be pulled then, in what direction? That's like, okay, well, now I don't need the joint anymore because Manousos is here. But at the same time, there is something very special going on between Zosha and Carol. I feel it.
I'm going to put on a tinfoil hat here
Oh,
because this
all
is
right.
what I think is going to happen. I think because there is something special with Zosha, Manousos is going to show up. And she's going to be resistant at first because she just went through all of this to get Zosha back and to sort of establish something that is her happiness. I think Manousos is actually going to have to work pretty hard to undo this again and sort of remind her that this fake happiness is all artificial, because
Mhm.
I think she's going to respond with, well, I tried to live a life without them. Do you know how sad I was? And maybe she's going to try to pull something out of him. Like, remember all this time? You haven't told me about it yet, but maybe he's going to tell her about the dog food. And she's going to respond, do you really want to go back and eat dog food again? And that may be a genuine push and pull. I think Carol wants to still preserve some of the people who are a part of the joint and
Mhm.
find a way to get them back. With Manousos, I think his end game is still a little bit more unclear. I want to think that he wants to bring all these people back, but the only people that he's been around so far, he's been hostile to all of them. He doesn't even like his mother.
Yeah, to be fair though, they are all the joined, and he feels that they have come here and stolen the earth
Yeah.
from him, from people. He's not wrong. He's 1,000% correct on this.
Yes.
But he, during his journey, I mean, he did keep sort of saying, I want to save the world. I want to save people. This is why I'm coming here, so that together we can figure out a way to save humanity and bring our world back to us, the humans, sort of thing. And is that possible? I don't know. I think the real key here is going to be Zosha. And if these two can find a way to turn her and pull her out, and after what Carol did with the drugging and almost getting some answers, I kind of wonder if it's like, I mean, if you drug Zosha, you're kind of drugging everybody because they're all joined, right?
Yes.
Like, does something then break in the join just a little bit that maybe Zosha has broken off a bit? I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but maybe she's a little more vulnerable to being pulled out.
I do believe that there is something there. We have, at the very least, we have seen pauses from Zosha. Like,
Yes, we
we have
have.
seen moments that suggest there might be something more. I don't expect we're going to get to the finale and everything is going to be revealed, but I do think we're going to see something that suggests further this is possible to unbreak her, and it may happen in a way in which that is unexpected. I think these two, Carol and Manousos together, can figure stuff out in time. I think Carol can kind of go back to being desperate for answers. I do think she's going to be so happy to have someone else in this world who wants what she wanted once upon a time, and that will be a tremendous benefit to her mentally.
Yeah, I think when she meets up with Manousos and he explains why he's there and that he believes in her, because that is what's happened. He believed in her so much that he
Yeah,
was actually willing to leave where he was, travel across the world to get to her, to learn English, to be able to say, I want to save the world with you. Let's do this. I mean, that's a lot to go through.
please, Vince, deliver 2 more episodes this season as good as this one. I mean, we
Yep.
will be thrilled. This was a really outstanding episode. We cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say in the comments about it and where you think things are going from
Yep.
here. And hit that subscribe button to make sure you do not miss any other Pluribus updates. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We will see you here next time.